What's up, shitheads? It's Ryan and Travis, back with another episode of Dudes Talking Shit. This is episode number 39. Travis, I got a question for you.
Okay, wait, now that you just said 39,
Yeah.
when we get to episode 69, we have to do something special.
Yeah, we're going to play Miley Cyrus the entire episode.
Oh, into it. Okay, what's your question?
How come there's no good fucking serial killers anymore? Like, look at all the famous ones from, like, there was, like, fucking that Bundy guy.
Yeah.
Ted Bundy, right?
Macy?
John Wayne Gacy, the clown.
Gacy? I thought it was Macy.
No, John Wayne Gacy. There was Jeffrey Dahmer. Everyone remembers him for eating, eating the gay black boys.
Did you ever watch the Jeffrey Dahmer documentary with, or not documentary, like biopic with Zac Efron?
No.
Worth
You
the
know what?
watch.
Yes, I tried to, but I wasn't. I felt like it was too acting instead of reenactment.
Yeah, but from like what people say and the recounts of Dahmer is he actually was like a really charming, good-looking dude.
Yeah, all the photos are bad
am
lighting.
I confusing Dahmer?
No, you're thinking Bundy was the one that all the
I'm
ladies
thinking of
were
Bundy.
weak in the knees for.
Yeah, okay.
Dahmer
sorry.
was a swooner. Like
Yeah.
he would get all the because he was into eating gay boys.
Yeah.
Like he would like he was in the gay community, would get them back and earn their trust, kill them, chop them up, and then
eat
fucking have them for dinner. Like literally.
What do you think human tastes like?
Probably just like normal meat. Like probably a mix between.
Do you think we're tough though? Because our meat's old, right?
Yeah, but we
Like,
have
the
a really
majority of-
interesting diet. A lot of people, depending on
Yeah.
it depends
Well,
on the
imagine
where.
We're so fatty and shitty.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I would taste that good because I know what I eat. But I think that like someone that's physically fit on a healthy diet, not a
Like
bodybuilder.
HFX Monroe.
Yes,
That motherfucker would be delicious.
probably with a little bit
Dude,
of fucking barbecue sauce.
Do you think he'll listen to this episode?
No.
Man, HFX Monroe got twisted at me the other day. So for people who don't know, like we're actually good friends with HFX
Yeah,
Monroe.
fuck the
who's
serial
on
killer
here.
talk. Let's talk about Monroe.
Wait, we'll go back into serial killers. But so I really think he would be delicious. Okay, so when you think about like animals, wild animals that are good to eat, okay, deer,
Elk.
they're like
Some bears when they're on good diets.
Yeah.
When it's a good berry full
Were
season.
you in the break room for that conversation today?
No.
That's so funny. Me and other coworkers had a conversation about eating bears today.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Because they taste just like what they fucking eat. Like
Yeah.
it's at the point where if there's a bunch of berries that season, like it was a good
Dude,
bloom, then
that's
you can
so
eat those
funny.
berries and the steak will be fucking blue and purple and
Dude,
shit.
so I was like telling these people, so I've eaten bear before.
Yeah.
And I was like, if you don't want to eat a bear that lives close to a dump
Right.
because they're fucking dump bears. I was like, but if you get a bear that's like in the woods and lives in like a good partridge berry patch,
Yep.
lives around blueberries, maybe they live around some raspberries.
Bears that are in like BC and Alaska and maybe the whole
Newfoundland.
northwest area of North America.
So in Newfoundland, there's like these giant fields of partridge berries.
Yeah.
And that's what the bears eat. They're just fucking gluttonous berry
Yeah.
eaters. But dude, people are so funny in things they get twisted over. So like HFX Monroe has a really good sense of humor, and like he cracks some hilarious jokes, ribbing people, but he doesn't take getting razzed very well. So he had this
Try razzing him about New Balance shoes.
Dude.
That gets his goat.
He had this shirt the other day.
The bathing suit shirt.
And dude, I called it a bikini top because it was like really floral and kind of feminine.
Yeah.
But it was like a part of the Rocks line.
Yeah.
And dude, he got sideways. He got so
Because you had to pre-order
sideways.
that, pay $200 for it,
Dude.
wait 6 months.
I was shitting on it so hard. And then he like walked by me later in the day and he was like, yeah, well, you're out of breath when you walk up the stairs. I was like, bro, you spent an hour thinking of that? Like, what the fuck?
Didn't I razz him? I got him
great.
going with the beach thing. I'm like,
Dude.
are you going swimming later? And you were all like, oh, that was fucking bad. You're like, he knows that as a setup. So then I'm like, what did I say?
You
I'm like,
fucked that setup so bad.
yeah. And then what did I do? I hit him with, I'm like, geez, He's like, no, it's a shirt. I'm like, what, for the Tour de France or something? Because it was skin tight.
Oh, it was so fucking funny, dude. But yeah, you really don't hear. So the most recent serial killer I can think of
Yeah.
that has a somewhat interesting story is the one in Ontario
Bruce MacArthur.
who was, again, killing guys in the gay community.
Yeah.
And he was a landscaper, and he was fucking. Was he chopping them up and burying them?
Something, I think he was burying them in like gardens all around the city and shit like that.
Yeah, the gardens that he was working on and
Yeah.
shit.
But it's wild because like no one was like, he wasn't like the headlines, but like the Night Stalker strikes again or the Zodiac, you know?
No.
Another side, or the Unabomber this. No, it was none of that.
By the
it was
time
just
you
like,
heard about him,
it was,
got him.
he was already in jail before you even heard of this fucking, all these people going missing and that they were all linked
how
together
many
and
people
shit.
did he kill?
Fuck, I want to say it was like 15 to 20 maybe. 13 is ringing a bell right now, but I might be off by that.
Right, and they're saying, though, they think he killed more, but they don't know how many.
Right.
And there's no way to prove it.
The last two, I think. So I might be mixing timelines up, but I don't think I am. So
I have it here.
okay.
Between 2010 and 2017, a total of 8 men disappeared from the neighborhood of Churcham Wesley, the gay enclave of Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Blah, 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 blah. The oldest. MacArthur is the most prolific known serial killer to have been active in Toronto and the oldest known serial killer in Canada.
Wow.
Victims.
Does it say how many? Because I know you said
Well,
eight
they know there's 8.
Oh, okay. So
But-
that was a low number.
But then there's lots of people that went missing that they don't know where they are, that they think he may be linked to. But those
okay.
were just the ones they could be like, yeah, you did that.
Yeah.
Before
Before him, there was the Picton guy, Robert Picton, out in Vancouver area.
yeah.
That was chopping up all those hookers and putting them in the pig pen.
Yes,
you know?
man. That was kind of alluded to in an episode of Criminal Minds.
Yes.
Did you ever see that show?
Yeah, it's been. I haven't seen that particular clip, but it was referenced in CSI a couple of times.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this was referenced in Criminal Minds. Like it was a whole episode where they were going after he wasn't Robert Picton.
But it was
It was
based
someone
on like
with the
that
same
similar
MO.
idea. Okay.
Yeah, I find like most of those shows like Criminal Minds and stuff that focus on serial killers, it's all essentially the like MO of serial killers we know of.
Right.
Dude, this is such like a woman thing.
They're fucking into it. But
We
I
have
recently
really
watched that new
co-opted
series
serial
on
killers.
Netflix that they just released. I knew it was coming out,
What's it
but
called?
they just released it last week. It was called The Night Stalker, something to catch a serial killer. Or, I don't know. It's called Night Stalker anyway.
Okay.
But it's about Richard Ramirez from Southern California. Fucking in the mid to late 80s and to early 90s, he was wildly successful serial killer in that area.
Yeah.
But anyway, I've known about him for ages because I remember seeing the videos of him getting caught forever. Because it was just such an interesting story of
Can I
how
ask
it
you a
all.
question?
Yes, you just did. Ha!
What's the difference between a serial killer and a hitman?
I think it's. I don't know. A serial killer does it for themselves. A hitman doesn't.
Is like is a hitman just a serial killer who has learned to monetize his ability?
I guess that's a good way to look at it. Yeah.
Like or monetize. Do you think it's a lustful thing for most serial killers?
I think that statistically most of it is sex related.
Yeah, like yeah.
I feel like there's very few that aren't. You know what I mean? They all have that.
Whereas a hitman just kills them.
Right. It's just he doesn't care. It's just he's just there for the paycheck.
Yeah, like do you think a hitman is like emotionally driven or they're just there for the money?
No, I don't. Just probably just there for the money.
Or they're just dead inside?
Oh yeah, soulless fucking.
Do you think most hitmen, how do you think they come to be?
Oh, they probably just know someone that knew someone that was like they've had a shit life. They're in between. They've probably never had a good job.
Yeah.
They're probably already criminals to begin with, and then they're just a sketchy individual that someone else just happens to know and be like, oh fuck, I know that Travis guy. He might actually fucking be crazy enough to go kill your wife for you and collect the the insurance, life insurance. And,
Yeah.
and then the conversation just probably spirals out of control, and eventually they just go up to this Travis guy and be like, all right, so I want to pay you like $50,000 to just off my wife and make it look like an accident or whatever.
How many of these? Because there's a lot of hitmen who go out and kill other like criminals and
Yeah.
organized crime.
Like, almost like vigilantes.
Yeah, like whether it's a part of mafia
Yeah.
or like Boston crime families or Irish crime families, and like they just go out and just bang. They don't give a fuck.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, like it's a criminal. It's someone who's a member of organized crime.
Yep.
Like if a member of the mafia kills a Hell's Angel, the cops are kind of like, eh.
What what do we do?
They're
Well,
like,
look at the Melvins and the
whatever.
Marriotts.
They just leave them alone. They're like,
Exactly. That's not so much happening anymore, but it sort of is. Like there's still a feud there. It's just I don't think there's as much killing anymore.
yeah, they're like, oh, if you guys kill each other, we don't really care.
Right.
Like at the end, like they'll be like, oh, it's a murder, but like how many murders do we hear about here in Nova Scotia? And as soon as they're like the suspect was known to the victim, then it's like then you never hear about it again. It's gone out of the news.
Right.
You hear about it that next day, and then boom.
Right, because random people don't generally get killed
Yeah.
outside of like what we were talking about, like some sort of serial killing scenario. Like
So wait, is what happened here in Nova Scotia, a little less than a year ago?
yeah.
Is that a serial killer?
I don't know if I don't know. I think maybe on paper, yes, it is, but like because it all happened within like a 8-hour period or something like that or less,
Yeah.
I don't think it really is.
Like how many did he kill?
22 or 23,
Yeah.
but it was all like on a rampage, and like word on the street is still to this day like he had some degree of connection with every single one of those people,
Yeah.
but like maybe not straight up to the point that they would like call each other, but he knew, okay, this is where this person will be. I don't think anyone was just straight up a full-blown random ass attack like with zero connection.
But the kids he killed though, like that's
I don't think, no, he didn't kill kids. Oh, he killed one girl that was young,
Yeah.
but I don't think he killed any children. Like they were all at least 18 is what
Yeah.
I mean.
it's fucked.
You know, it's fucked up, and they're still like trying to come up with answers and stuff. There's a public inquiry that'll probably
Well, because
produce
there's
something.
a lot of shit going on, like about how the cops handled it.
Yeah.
Man, it's really interesting. Like it's very horrific and tragic, but I guess all these cases are.
Yeah. Did you know that the person that was supposed to be the first victim,
Yeah.
their sister, that person's direct sister, came in and bought a car from us the other day?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's fucked up.
That's fucked.
But anyway, it's just crazy. I've always been interested in like serial killers because my mom used to read those books
Yeah.
about like fucking serial killers, and she would tell me about. Sometimes she'd just read them to me like a chapter or two while I was in the room or whatever.
What?
Yeah.
When you were a child?
Well, when I was a child, I was old enough to like understand this, and she would be watching documentaries and stuff. Like nothing crazy to the point where like I knew about it, but I kind of like the names and like somewhat like the very, very like quick version of the story came across my ears.
Yeah.
But then as years go by, it just kind of intrigued me now that they've started making cool documentaries like years past, and like the people aren't collecting royalties off this. Like their cases are resolved. Like they're in prison for fucking ever. They've been executed already, whatever. Yeah. And it just made me think like, man, they used to have like crazy like headlines. Like there's like the Green River Killer strikes again up in the Seattle area.
Zodiac was sending messages in.
Yes, man, like wild things like that you heard about that had nicknames, like the Clown Killer and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was all these crazy serial killers all until like the late 90s. And then all of a sudden it's like no one fucking does it anymore. There was that Robert Pickton guy. And then in the which was the early 2000s. And then there was the DC Sniper in the early 2000s. That was that was really interesting. That was completely randomized too, which was like odd, and it wasn't sexually driven or related at all, which makes it super weird.
Wait, is he the one who was in the back of the car through the gas tank?
And lights. I think they would use the light. They would pop out a tail light.
Oh, I thought it was through the filler cap. I thought they had a false.
No, I think it was through a tail light. It might have been both. They might have had a couple different ways. But yeah, that one, that's exactly them. There was two of them that were doing it. Like they were together doing it.
Yeah.
But there was that, and then there was this guy that we were just talking about in Toronto area. But other than that, you don't hear of any others. Like now, everyone's
But really, when you think about it, even all the ones you just listened, like those are killers spread out through the 60s, 70s, and 80s
and 90s.
and 90s.
Yeah.
And then so you talk about these. There's been a few in the 2000s.
I can't think of any, and I'm
Robert Picton.
yes, so that's what I mean.
And then the guy in
MacArthur.
MacArthur. So
Right.
that's two.
And then DC Sniper, that's it.
in
but
the
like,
2000s. So that's
but
three.
but none of them have. They're all at least 5 years old now.
oh, but I get what you're saying too. There also wasn't like big headlines until
Right.
it was. Oh, well, no, the sniper guy got a lot of coverage.
The sniper, yeah, because that was fucking. He was shooting cops and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. But there's
What, was he ex-military?
something like that, yeah, or military training, one of the two.
Yeah.
But it's just wild how we don't hear about it anymore, which is, I guess, probably a good thing. But
Yeah.
now it's just scary because now everyone upgraded to like, oh, instead of going and killing a bunch of people with a gun and all this shit, and I could just take a fucking like a Penske U-Haul or something like that
run
truck,
it through
and I could just run over a fucking off the curb and
That is
into a
terrifying.
crowd of people. Like they've upped their game. These
That
fucking
was a thing. That happened in Toronto.
yeah, right on Young Street.
It
I
happened in
think
Toronto and it happened in London and Paris.
it's happened in a bunch of places, man.
Yeah, it's a wonder no one's done it in New York.
They did.
Did they?
Yeah, during the Black Lives Matter protests, a fucking cop did it.
Right.
It was a cop that did it in a cop car.
No, man, actually, that happened a lot during that. I've seen videos of a Dodge Charger doing
Oh,
it.
yeah.
I've seen a video of like a big old lifted pickup doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucked up. Yeah, cops.
And then there was like obviously the mass shootings that are suddenly a thing that weren't a thing 10 years ago.
That's
Like
When
before
you-
10 years ago, there was the fucking Columbine thing. And then
Right.
there was that other school shooting in like the fucking 80s or whatever in Quebec.
yeah.
There was like, and then you'd hear of these school shootings that were like a student got killed or something like that. It wasn't like
Now, all of a
mass
sudden-
amounts.
Yeah, dude.
Now it's
Dude.
like, what's the record right now? 55?
One funny / not funny thing about school shootings.
Oh God.
Did you know that Trump at the end of his presidency said the last year has been the least amount of school shootings in a year? He was referring to 2020 when kids weren't in school. It's like, dude,
I know.
you fucking.
You know, I was talking to
pleb.
someone today, and like, all jokes aside about Trump, he's kind of lived my dream. Okay? Like, let's just break down some real quick Spitfire facts, all right? Wildly successful and rich. Like, at the end of the day, yeah, I get there's been a couple bailouts and bankruptcies, but he still has never had less than $1 billion in some degree of equity since the 80s.
Sure.
He was in Home Alone, which was one of my favorite fucking movies. He took a stunner from Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
My favorite sitcom from the 90s, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He was on that.
Wait, didn't he wrestle Vince McMahon? Too?
Yes, man. Well, he didn't wrestle him. He fought him. It was
Okay.
a fight. He took a stunner from
Wait,
Austin.
he was
and-
on Fresh Prince.
Yes, man. He was on a episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He was fucking in Home Alone. He got a stunner from Austin. He fucking owns a bunch of golf courses, which at some point in my life, I want to own vineyards and golf courses.
Yeah.
He fucking owns hotels and casinos, but not just any type of casino. Cool ones, like fucking Caesar's Palace and shit. Like, he owns the cool fucking old Roman ones in Atlantic City and in Vegas and shit. Like, now I think it's a board of directors. I think he's since sold it, but
Yeah.
he at one point owned that.
Did he owned the Taj Mahal too? at
Something
one
like
point.
that, yeah.
Because it was Trump's Taj Mahal.
Right. The
Yeah.
guy was a fucking president, which I would love to be a fucking ruler of a nation. Okay? He's grabbed supermodels by pussies, which I want to do. I want to grab a supermodel by the pussy. Like, overall, and he's got a fucking meerkat wife with no personality. I want all of those things. I want to be on fucking Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Your own reality show.
That more than one he's probably had more than one.
No, it's
he's
all
had
The
one.
Apprentice.
I want a
Would
reality
you,
show.
Would you like to be in the hot seat of a celebrity roast?
I would fucking love to be a celebrity roast
dude,
hot seat member.
You know what? So I was saying about HFX Monroe earlier, how he's really good at dishing it out.
Yeah.
Not great at taking it. You are very good at both. You are completely cool with getting shit on.
Oh, yeah.
You were just like, whatever.
Well, when it's a roast fest, it's fair game. Go,
Yeah.
go. That's the green light. Go.
so funny.
But man, I'm telling you, Trump he's lived my dreams.
Yeah.
Like, if I could write down on paper what are your dreams for your entire life that you would love to do, he did it. all.
Would you like to be a real estate mogul?
Yes, I want to do that. I actually have such a huge interest in real estate, and especially commercial real estate.
Yeah.
Like, I do have a real interest in that.
Would you ever go into that business?
Yeah, probably not. Maybe.
Oh, God.
It's just that's a very hard. That ain't like. Well, they say when you want to get into like residential real estate, you should have like, at least 6 months of livable income just in your bank account just to
Yeah,
live off
to
until
get
you
started.
to get started, and even then it's hard to get moving sometimes.
Yeah.
With commercial, I feel like that number has got to be exponentially higher. Like you can't just get into commercial without going through some sort of bullshit rental crap where you're not making really any money.
Man, so a buddy of mine,
Or are you gonna go through residential first?
a good buddy of mine, he was getting his PR. And so anybody who doesn't know what that means is permanent residency. But to get your permanent residency, you have to have a salary position. You can't be working in a commission job.
Yeah.
And he got his real estate license and did all that, but he couldn't call that his only job.
Yeah.
So he had this other full-time 40-hour-a-week job that was salaried, and it was like a bullshit salary, like 35 grand a year is all he's gonna fucking make. Yeah, so he started this. He's in partnership with like one of his friends doing real estate, and so the place he works at that he gets a salary, he is like, he gives no fucks.
I wouldn't either.
No fucks. And like, so now he's almost at the 1 year he needed to be there to get his PR.
Yeah.
And like, he's in his final couple of weeks now. And one of my friends also works with him. And she was saying, he's just like, body's there.
Mall's open, nobody's shopping.
Nobody's shopping. Yeah. Like, he works in a sales business and like no sales in months.
Wow.
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious. But his real estate business, because we're in this crazy boom right now in Nova Scotia,
Yeah.
he's like, so he leaves that salary job or just calls in sick, and then he goes and does real estate,
Wow.
and he's fucking killing it.
Good.
Like, got his real estate license, was making bank immediately.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucked. But he's he's Indian.
Yeah.
And like, he's really tapped into that community because it's pretty tight knit.
Yeah.
And so he's Indian and his partner's Chinese.
Oh fuck.
Dude, they're brilliant. The guys are just fucking killing it.
I believe that.
Yeah, they're so clever. But yeah.
Oh fuck. I got cock talk for us.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Fellas, get ready to impress a chick. Helicopter dick. Go
What?
helicopter dick. Helicopter dick.
All right.
To impress a chick, do the helicopter dick.
So I got a question for you.
Sure.
When was the last time you saw a human cock?
A human cock that
Like a dick.
I took a piss like right
No,
before I
no,
left work.
not yours.
Does porn count?
Nope. It's like I'm talking in person, in the flesh.
The last dick I would have saw would have been one of my best buddies at home.
So we're talking. It's been years since you've seen a dick that isn't your own.
Yeah, I almost saw yours. I came very close.
The
to
mirror
seeing
didn't
yours.
help. It was going the right angles too.
I know. So I have this really good friend at home, and he is fucking hilarious.
Did you just fart?
Yeah.
We got a microphone.
Anita! But this was in our younger years when we used to be like going to parties and stuff all the time. And this guy is fucking hilarious. And he's hung very graciously. So every now and then someone would pants him at a party. And they kept pantsing him. And like, he'd be like, pulls pants up and be like, fuck.
Yeah.
And then one day someone pants him and he just started doing helicopter dick.
Fuck.
And just standing in the middle of this party, like loaded, swinging around this massive fucking knob, and was just like, he just embraced this moment of it. And he was like, I'm not going to be ashamed about this anymore. Like, fuck you guys, because we would fuck with him all the time. And and actually it worked. I think he only got pants like one or two more times after that. And then
Wow.
no one really did it anymore because he was too proud.
Jesus Christ.
Nobody likes to see anybody be that proud. When's the last time you saw?
That's what I
Another
was thinking of.
dude's dick?
I thought of this the other day, and I'm like, honest to goodness, I don't know, but I could guess and say it's probably been 6 or 7 years. Like, I'm trying to think, like, when the last time I was in a locker room would have been. I think
Yeah. Man, I can't even think of.
because I used to go to public school. I used to go to, well, not public. You had to pay to go public pools sort of thing because they had like the massive diving boards that are like fucking like Olympic sized and everything.
Yeah.
So I used to like going up and fucking jumping off those.
Yeah.
And I've definitely seen a couple mallets in the locker room because you got to take a look, right? You got to peek,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
just like through the eyelashes, sort of thing. Like, ooh.
Am I average? Am I above average?
Right? And we're talking
do I got a tiny dick?
we're talking post pool average. You know what I mean? There's
all-
shrinkage.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Dude,
It's like a fucking frightened turtle.
that was. Would you ever be a part of a nudist colony?
Yeah, probably. I have no problem with that. I don't like fucking wearing clothes to begin with, so.
I know, you're very opposed. You're naked right now. I saw a dick today. But, man, I feel like a nudist colony would be very freeing. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Especially if it was one where, like, everyone's cool.
Not with a lot of sand, though. I don't want to be at a nudist colony with a bunch of sand.
Man,
Which I picture sand to be at every nudist colony, and that's the bad part.
do you, I can't remember if it was Vice or Vox, but I watched a YouTube video recently, and they have this reporter who, like, goes around, and he does, like, poor choice of words, but he does fluff pieces.
Yeah. Nice.
So he went to a nudist colony.
So fucking.
And he was very ashamed of his body, right? Like, he was like out of shape. You know when a dude has like a frumpy body,
Yeah.
like that's the kind of body he had, like kind of a chick body. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
fat chick body. And so he wasn't feeling great about himself, but they convinced him to like embrace it, man. Like, get naked, have a good time. So he gets naked and goes to this nudist colony, and man, it looks like they're having just like
The greatest time.
the greatest time.
You ever seen Eyes Wide Shut?
No,
Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise?
no.
Oh, dude, they were into fucking weird shit like that. They used to go to this, like, these naked parties and shit.
Really?
Yeah, well, yeah. There's a lot of fucking nudity in that movie.
Man, one thing.
But they all wore masks, so you never knew who they were. And they would just
Yeah.
go in and they would just start fucking random people and all this. But they're all
Oh.
wearing like what kind of masks? Like fucking Phantom of the Opera and all that kind of stuff.
Fancy
Masquerade
people
style.
masks.
Yeah.
Nudist colony looks good. That sounds terrible. That does not sound nice.
It'd be exciting to go to, but I don't know if I'd want to just fuck a bunch of random people when you can't see their face. Like, I've already been psyched out by like 10 chicks since fucking wearing face masks out in public.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Do you know how many hot girls are out there when you only can see them from the middle of their nose up and from like their neck down?
Yeah.
Do you know how easy a girl can go from a 9 or 10 to like a fucking 5 just by like
Taking her back.
having a wide ass nose, fucking gross cheeks, maybe fucking no lips?
Yeah.
No lips are worse than fucking gross lips.
Huge pointy chin.
Yeah, weird
Dude,
thing.
I just saw a girl in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And like, if you were to draw me a picture of a witch, that's what she looked like. Yeah, like that kind of witch. Man, do you like? Okay, those sex parties. So you see it in porn,
Yeah.
you see it in movies, you see it on TV shows. Like, I know that everything we see in movies, TV shows, and porn, it might not exist to that extreme, but it has to exist in some light because someone just didn't like magically think of that.
No, they happen. I know swingers.
Do you think they happen within like? Is it mainly rich people or like? Is there everyday people? Like, is there a sex club in my neighborhood?
I wouldn't be surprised in your neighborhood. You're part of it.
I'm in it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be able. Man, I'm gun shy.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, big time.
No, you know how they fucking pick partners and shit?
With the keys in the bowl.
Yeah, basically it's the same as when you're trying to pick players for the hockey team. You know, you throw all these
Okay.
sticks down, you just throw stick.
But sometimes when you see it in like movies and TV shows and shit, it's just a bunch of people naked in a house, and everybody like they're not picking; they're just walking around fucking each other. They're like, "Hey, I
Oh,
want to
fuck.
make out a little."
That would be a little weird.
Dude, I came really.
Like speed dating, but for fucking boners.
Oh man, when I was in my early 20s, I came like a threesome was on the table with two women, and I self-sabotaged.
You fucked up, buddy.
Dude, I couldn't do it. I was like,
Well, I've told the stories about my foursome and my fivesome here. I never had a threesome, but I had a foursome once and I had a fivesome once.
oh yeah.
We did one at the foursome. No, this was the fivesome. The fivesome had a fucking like an old woman with us. Well, old compared to us. Like she was 20 something years older than us, and we were only 20 something. So that was fucking interesting.
That is, man. I wouldn't be. I just couldn't do it. I got afraid.
Oh fuck.
I was like, that's 4 boobies, 2 vaginas. Can you imagine 4 vaginas? 2 vaginas. Like, I can't satisfy one lady.
Fuck.
I do a mediocre job at best.
Well, that's all good. As long as you strive for that 50%.
Yeah, I'm just looking for average.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nudist colonies. I'd join one.
Oh fuck yeah! As long like I said, as long as they're away from sand, like as long as they're in the forest or something. No, because then you get poked with the lumber or something.
They all had like Birkenstocks on too. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Like those fucking weird sandals.
Yeah. Okay.
Like the real like hippie sandals.
Yeah. Yeah.
They in this nudist colony like little documentary I was watching. That's what they were all wearing on their feet. Is that technically nudist?
Yeah, I think you can have feet like shoes.
Yeah, they were all wearing like socks and sandals.
Yeah, I don't know how naked you have to be considered nude. Because if you're wearing a ring, you're covering. What if there's someone out there with a fucking?
Do you think?
I don't know where the limit technically is. It is, in my opinion, as soon as like chest, back, genitals, and butt are exposed, you're naked.
You're naked.
Yeah, you can fucking have knees socks on. You can have fucking a pair of gloves on. You're still fucking naked.
Oh, dude, girl in knee socks is the fucking best.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch
The
of
best.
TikToks going around about how like knee socks, like it's a woman's voice saying on a TikTok. It's like, so how come I just found out now that guys are into girls with knee socks when there's a little bit of pudge sticking out at the top. I'm like, yeah, I kind of want to see that pudge too.
Yeah.
You know, like where the thigh fat basically is.
Hell
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, I don't want it to just fucking go all the way up.
I don't want it to be a stick in a sock.
No, I don't want it to be like a multicolored hot dog. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to see what this fucking bratwurst is made of.
Dude, totally. Man, I was having this discussion with a friend recently, but like a woman in like a sexy outfit, lingerie, is better than a naked one.
Yes, I would agree.
Yeah.
You know what? I'd prefer not so much when they get into the lingerie with like the fucking corsets and all that. So, well, I don't know.
No,
Corset,
no.
I don't mind a corset, but as soon as you start getting those fucking like straps, so there's like, you know how there's a pair of undies and then there's
yeah.
the other thing that goes around that connects like the clasps or whatever to the fucking socks.
That's sexy.
See, I don't care for that. Those parts ruin me.
Dude, I think that's
You know
the
why I don't
best.
like them? Because
Why?
when they fucking sit down, the strap fucking like does this bend thing, and now it's not symmetrical, and I don't like that because I'm a fucking
sure.
OCD freak.
Sure.
So I find that's very odd.
Do you ever watch the movie National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation?
Yes.
When the fucking girl at the desk is like, you can't see the line. Can't see the line, can you, Russ?
Well, that was the thing back in the day, if I remember right. There was like the theory of you can tell how slutty a girl is by how many lines she has on her outfit. So like line number 1 is the cleavage line. If
Yeah.
you can see cleavage, 1
Check.
point. 1 point. Second point is something like how short the skirt is.
Yeah.
That's line because it's going straight across, just like the cleavage line.
Yeah.
That's line number 2. And then line number 3 is how high the boots are. So if the boots are high, the skirt is short, and the shirt is low, you got 3 points, and that's a slut. I didn't just make that up. This was like I can't remember where I heard it. It was in a movie or a show, or it was like a bit that a comedian had at one point. But someone told me this, and now it sticks true. So when I'm seeing, you don't see it so much with like our age group at a bar, but let's say you go to one of those bars that like there's the woo girls at, like the women that are like, they're what we would call cougars now, or white foxes.
Yeah.
So when they go, and when their night out is like a pair of like skin tight jeans, and you hear like, save a horse, ride a cowboy.
Yeah,
you know, when that
yeah.
like that's their fucking jam sort of
Yes,
thing.
man.
And the tequila shots, they got to woo before each one. Like they drink wine the rest of the week, but when husband's out of town for the work conference and they
Oh,
all go,
dude.
they're going straight hard tequila and rum and shit.
Have you ever been hit on by a cougar at a bar?
Yeah, one time. Only once, believe it or not, that I can think of.
And like good looking or kind of gross?
Oh no, super hot.
Yeah.
I would have probably put her at 45, and this was at a point when I was, I think, 24, 25.
Dude,
And
did you?
No, I didn't. But it was super. Like I was like, fuck. I was intimidated. I was like, oh god,
Of course. Yeah. She would have taught you a thing or two.
Yeah, I remember Apple Bottom Jeans was on, and she wanted to dance to me with me to that song, and I was like, she's turning around, giving her big booty a smack, and like, I gotta tell you, like booties weren't a thing. Like now they're popular,
Yeah.
but like having a
Legend
big
of Peach.
ass, right? A big ass like that, fucking 10 years ago was unheard of.
Yeah.
Because Kim Kardashian wasn't really a thing yet at that point. Remember, she's the one that kind of made a big booty, like a
That's
big
right.
booty. Right. Before that, it was like a J-Lo booty.
Yeah.
And that was the name of it. It was, oh, you have a J-Lo booty. Now it's just a booty. Anyway, she had a bit of a flat arse. You could tell she has a desk job. Like, she does some sitting.
That's fucking hilarious. Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Did I ever tell you about the time fucking me and my buddy, a couple buddies, we went deer hunting? The only time I've ever fucking been deer hunting. I don't have a hunting license.
Yeah.
I have a gun license now. Well, again, but
Yeah.
we went fucking deer hunting one time. So it was me, Derek, it was Matt, and I want to say Will, but his name was Bill.
Sure.
Okay, we started calling him. He switched his name at one point in his life, and
People who do that are fucking.
it was an age thing. Like he was Billy, and then all of a sudden he got to a certain age, and Billy wasn't cool anymore, so he decided to go by Will because I don't know. Anyway, there's the four of us. We went fucking.
Why didn't he go by Bill?
I don't know. I think he wanted to go by Will because he was a huge Will Smith fan and all this shit. Like I think that was actually it. He claims not, but anyway. So we all go fucking. We're all hunting.
Yeah.
We're hanging out like in a not even a tree stand. Like we just made a little fort basically out of brush. We fucking bang, get a deer. We're fucking trying to drag this thing back. And eventually we're just like exhausted. Like you know how hard it is to get that thing back to camp when you don't have an ATV or something to strap it on.
Yeah.
And we're not really tuned up and like gutting it right there sort of thing. So like so we fucking give up. And eventually Will says he's like, all right, we can't do this. Let's go fucking figure this stuff to just gut the thing here. So three of us decide to go back to the cabin to get all the fucking everything that we're gonna need and all that. And Will's like, no, I'll just hang out here. It's all good. So whatever. And I'm like, okay, cool. We won't be long. So we leave. The fucking guy decides he has to take a shit. So he starts taking a shit. He's pushing so hard. He fucking passes out for a while. We go back to him. We find the guy laying on the laying with his pants down around his fucking ass. Like down his sides, tipped over, and he's fucking out cold, snoring. We're like, what the fuck? Like, so we know he's alive. So we're like, what the fuck? So we gut the deer. We put a bunch of the guts like by his ass and everything, like just like around there, and we fucking dip. We fucking out. We go. Like an hour or two later, when it starts, like the sun starts getting, starting to go down. It gets a bit colder in the fall. In a hurry, it gets cold. He fucking shows up at the cabin, white as a fucking ghost, empty-handed, and we're like, what the fuck? Blood all over his arm and everything. Like we're like, what the fuck? He's like, you'll never believe it. I was waiting for you guys. I had to take a shit, so I pulled my pants down and I started taking a shit. He's like, I passed out in the middle of it, and we're all sitting there like trying not to like bust out laughing. And the guy's like, he's like, when I fucking woke up, I realized I shit my guts out. But thanks to these two fingers and the good grace of God, I got them all back in.
Fuck you! Oh my god! Dude, at the beginning of that story, I was so sus. I was like,
and I won you over?
I was like, okay. Man, it's when you get into the fucking detail. Oh, I fucking hate having conversations with you.
Yeah, I know. I'm a pain in the arse.
Oh, so funny though. Dude, we're gonna go deer hunting this fall, and I'm so excited.
Fuck, that's our target for this year, bag of deer.
That's it, 2021. Is there anything... So I think we've kind of decided for this year we're going to hire a tour guide.
Yep.
To take us out and teach us the ropes and make sure we're doing everything properly. And then, well, because it's definitely going to be me, you, and one of our other good buddies going. So we're going to get 3 tags. So it's possible that we go out with them and maybe we only fill 1, maybe 2 tags.
Yeah.
And then maybe we'll go out on our own for the 3rd.
Yeah.
But it'll be nice to get that initial lesson. Is there anything you're like concerned about or worried about with it, or is there something you're particularly excited about?
No, you know what? I don't think there's anything that's weirding me out or worrying me or making me anxious about it. I think it's pure excitement because, like, I know that it's not like fishing where you can just cast your line and you're probably gonna get a bite.
Yeah.
Whether you fucking reel it in or not's another story. But I know it's not quite like that. Plus, like, obviously, if it's a doe, you let it go, sort of thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's who fucking knows? Plus, like, are you gonna hit that shot? What if it gets spooked like at the last possible second, right when you're gonna squeeze the trigger,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden it dips and then,
Wound it.
right? Oh, it's God! And then you got to trace a fucking blood trail and try to finish the thing off. And
Yeah.
meanwhile, the fucking lead is literally going through its entire body from the first shot that you miss,
Yeah.
and then you're fucking poisoning the whole thing basically.
And then you just feel bad for the animal.
Right. So you're like, oh God. Like, things like that might start to come into my mind a little closer too. I know that I've already got a good shot from experience and everything,
Yeah.
but I've also not shooting for long distance like that because we'd be talking a couple hundred yards, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think.
Or more. Huh.
Yeah, I think the range you're probably supposed to shoot within. Am I right in saying like 100 meters, 150 meters?
Probably.
Yeah. I've never actually like pulled the trigger on a big animal.
Yeah.
Like I've been out rabbit snaring and I've done like some small game stuff with like squirrel with like pellet guns and shit.
Yeah.
When I was a kid. But yeah, I'm nervous to how it's gonna feel to pull the trigger on like a big animal. And in my brain as well, I also know that like me killing that deer, that's the best end that animal could have.
Because someone else will.
Or it's going to starve to death.
Yeah.
It's going to get sick and freeze to death. A fucking coyote's going to eat it. A cougar's going to eat it. A bear's going to eat it. And they're going to eat it. They'll eat it while it's alive.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah, they'll pin it down and eat it fucking ass to head. We look at way too much nature as metal. But yeah, and that's what's making me like not feel, I wouldn't say feel, like I don't feel good about like, oh, I'm going to go kill something. But I feel good that I'm going to be able to go a year with like buying less beef, like taking less from like factory farming, which I both think we both kind of have an issue with.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm stoked for that side of it.
Fuck yeah. Do you think that you're going to get like a second feeling once the thing's literally zoned in on your sight and you're like, holy shit, I'm going to end it? Do you think that you're going to start second guessing yourself?
Probably, yeah.
Oh, yeah? The morality of it? Because some people freak right out about it.
Well, and you got to think about it too. Like, so a deer looks exactly like one of my dogs.
Yes, it does.
Like, I have a fawn colored greyhound. Like, it looks like a little fucking deer. But no, I think I can also differentiate it too. That, like, again, best death this animal could possibly have. Like, there's no better way for it to go.
Yep.
And that's a lot of cows I'm not going to fucking participate in killing, which I don't know. I have this weird thing about killing cows. I'd said it on here before. The area I used to live in, I drove by this fucking farm all the time, and I'd see these little baby cows playing.
You ever see how they kill the cows?
I know there's a couple of different ways.
Yes,
I know there's the bolt gun is one of them.
Yeah.
And then the other one is they have this machine and it takes them up by their hooves and they're like hung from their fucking rear legs. So their like hip joints and everything like savagely pull apart.
Yeah.
Because they're so big and so heavy.
Right.
And then they just slit their throat.
Fuck, I didn't know that was that savage.
Yeah.
I know once upon a time instead of the bolt gun that you would just use a 22. Right behind the ear where it's all soft.
Yeah,
They would just put the muzzle right in there and
yeah,
because 22 the bullet won't go through, right? It'll just bounce around in their skull and fucking completely end them.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't know that. The bolt gun, because when they hit him with the bolt gun, it's like, it's right through this, like it's over.
Oh yeah.
It disconnects their spine.
Yep.
Or their brain stem. But yeah, dude, I worked on a turkey farm and I participated. I didn't fully participate. So I was only a kid. It was my first job. I would have started working there like illegally for cash when I was like 13. And I'd work there like a couple of days a week in the summer. And
Did you ever kick a turkey just because you're pissed off at it?
no, but I definitely like would use my foot
Yeah.
to like move them, like to push them out of the way.
fuck out of the
I
way.
wouldn't like fucking heave off and give it to one. But turkeys are they're nasty animals, man.
Oh yeah,
Like,
they're fucking hideous too.
and they're
They're bigger than you
huge.
think.
They're huge.
Oh yeah.
And like they kill the little ones.
Do they?
Yeah. So if there's a turkey that's like
The turkeys kill the little ones,
yes
or the farmers.
no
The turkeys
if
kill.
there's a small turkey, a weak turkey, a sick turkey, the other turkeys kill it, and like it's just like laying there dying, and the turkeys are eating it alive.
They're cannibals.
Oh my god, yes. They're
Neat.
cannibals when they're chicks.
Really,
Yes, dude.
dude? I thought they just ate
So-
fucking grain and
So
shit.
one
Corn.
one year, my main job was to raise the turkeys. Okay, so these were going to be Thanksgiving turkeys. So we got them in like May. So I started raising.
So you're
them.
telling me Thanksgiving turkeys are only like 5 months old?
Yes,
Really? I didn't know they were
dude,
that
they
young.
are pumped full of hormones.
Wow, I knew they were, but I didn't
Dude,
realize it was
they
that
go from
quick.
little tiny babies to full grown, like fucking 25, 30 pound turkeys
Wow,
in like 6 months.
that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, so I got my turkeys in. So I got 200 turkeys in. Yeah. And when I got them in, they were like little yellow chicks.
Yeah.
So I had them in the upstairs. of
Turkeys
the
are
barn.
chicks when they're little, or when they're yellow when they're
Yeah,
babies.
Yeah. Just like little chickens.
I didn't know that.
So then I had them in the upstairs barn, and what I did is I had to make 3 circle pens, okay, and 50 in each pen. But then like these turkeys, first of all, they're shipped in harsh conditions. Actually, it would have been April when I got them because it was cold. Newfoundland's cold, whenever, but it was like particularly cold. So they got shipped in. So out of the 200, I think I only actually had like 180 that were alive.
Wow.
So then I got them. Like, basically, by the time they were full grown, we were down to like 120 turkeys.
No shit.
Yeah, and like, it's fucked, man. You'll get ones that are like fucked up and their legs are fucked up and like they're deformed and shit. And like, when they're babies, this was fucked. This was a harsh reality I learned as a young teen. You would just basically take these 2 fingers, what are they called? Pointer and index?
Yep.
Middle. And you would like take their head between that. You'd make like a moose knuckle, and you would hold their body with one hand and their head with one, and just. And that was
Interesting.
it was fucked. It was a really
Stretch
fucked
the
up
neck
job.
out.
You just disconnect their spine.
You ever see how you do partridge? Just kind of step on the cock and grab
Yeah.
their legs and just pull up.
Oh.
Like,
Yeah.
fuck, that's fucking wild,
It's
man.
ruthless. But you would have to do these because these animals are just fucked and they're diseased and they're gonna
Yeah.
die and they're just gonna kill the rest of your stock. So yeah, I had them in these upstairs and they're 4 separate pens. And then eventually, when they got big enough, I moved them into downstairs, which was also a fucked experience. So we opened a hatch in the floor, and this guy fucking Slicer. That was his actual nickname, Slicer. He was huge into Warcraft.
Warcraft, the fucking little models that you'd paint and shit?
No, like the online game.
Oh, I'm thinking of Warhammer.
Warhammer's a cool game.
I was never into it. I had some friends
So
that were.
fun.
They're dead now.
They're weird people played it. And so like a big plastic bucket that you'd get like a big tree in.
Yeah.
So he stood on a stool and put the bucket on top of his head and held it up. And we put some sawdust in it. And I would like slowly corral some of the turkeys into the bucket. And then he would lower them down and let them out. So eventually we let them out into the downstairs part of the barn.
Okay.
So this was like a traditional red barn. When you think of a red barn, this is what this barn was.
Red barn, white trim around the doors, sort
Yeah.
of thing. Wow.
That's it. And it had an upstairs floor and a downstairs floor. And the upstairs floor, the reason why we kept them upstairs at first,
Was it a ladder situation or did you have stairs?
you had stairs so the barn was built into the back of a hill.
Yeah, okay.
So when you came into the main floor, it was there and it was like a full 2 stories.
Yeah.
But when you went around to the back of
You
it,
could walk up the hill.
you
Sort
could
of
walk up the hill and there was like a small set of stairs to get to the top door.
Okay.
And I had my heat lamps and stuff rigged up in the top. You can't do it as well in the bottom because the ceiling's too tall.
Yes.
So we get all the turkeys down there, and then they grow more in there. And then you move them to the big barn, which is like a big metal barn.
Yeah, okay.
And this is where it gets sad. So in the red barn, there's like nice warm lighting. Like It just it's so fucked up. But
the turkeys feel like they're at home.
it's cozy.
Yeah.
It's nice. And the turkeys are small then. They're not jammed in there. But when they went to the metal barn, man, it was just so like cold and depressing and black.
And they could hear the death.
Well, the slaughterhouse was the next building over.
Oh, yeah.
And so you had these big these big like feed silos hung from the roof. So the silos hung like from the roof, and it was say about like, I don't know, a foot off the floor. And it was so like a big pan with a silo on top of it.
Yeah.
So I would fill it with feed from the top of the silo. But as you're coming in with the food, like the birds are getting agitated and they're like biting you and stuff. So I'd have to go around and fill 8 silos. And by the time we got to the end of it, I think this is what has turned me on that style of, and that's like, this is a small turkey farm. Like, this is what you would consider like a more humane level of turkey farming,
Okay.
which is fucked. Like, they could move around. They were in this big open barn. Like, they could move around as they want. But by the time they were like full grown, like, there was too many turkeys in that barn. Dude, like, they were in there. And so, yeah, I'd go feed the turkeys. And some of the turkeys were like my homies.
Yeah.
Like, some of them,
You named them?
yeah, that was a mistake.
I'd say.
Because there were some of them that had very few. There was only like 2 or 3 of them that had like distinct personalities. Like, when I came in, they would come up to me and like be gentle and calm. And they would like, as I was going around filling up the silos, they like, most of the turkeys, you'd fill it up with food and they'd start eating. But like, these few turkeys would just like follow me around and be like, oh, what are we doing now? Like, oh, what's going on? So slaughter day comes. So again, I was very young when I did this. So
Was there a certain day of the week that was slaughter day, or was it just?
it was like, however it worked out, it was like a few days before Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And so I got called back in to go work because now I was back in school. So I can't remember how it worked out. But anyway, so I went in. And so I had to be a turkey catcher. So you have to think about this. I'm a 13, 14-year-old kid at this point. So like, I might be 150, 160 pounds. I'm this height by then, though. I was this height when I was 12.
Yeah.
So I'm like 5'8", 5'9", but I'm I'm small, like thin. So I'm here running around trying to catch these like 25, 30-pound turkeys, and you're trying to fucking corral them to get them to go on this like fucking...
Would you yell at them?
No.
Hey, go this way. Like they understand your language?
You use bags.
Oh, really?
You use plastic bags. They're afraid of plastic bags. So you use plastic bags to like fucking
What would they have thought of
corral 'em.
Michael Jackson?
Right? And so you get them to go up into this room. So I did not do this part. I was just there as a catcher and moving them along. But what would happen essentially when they would get into this room is as soon as they walk on the floor of that room, it's they get electrocuted.
Really?
Yeah.
Like one of those fly zappers that look like little tennis rackets that
Yeah.
you hit mosquitoes with?
So they get electrocuted, but not electrocuted to death. They get electrocuted to like numbness.
Okay.
And then
The perfect voltage.
then they start getting moved along. And when they get to like the turkey killer, real serial killer, that person grabs them by the feet. This is these men who worked here and this fucking still the most terrifying people I've ever met in my life.
Oh, I bet.
Hands down. All like Eastern European immigrants. Like terrifying fucking human beings.
Vlad?
I didn't even know their names, man. They would just go around to all these like small turkey farms and slaughter for them.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And so they'd grab the turkeys like by the feet. Because at one point the owners of the farm used to do it, but at this point they were old. And I think they just didn't have the stomach for it anymore. Because it's rough. So like the turkey's electrocuted. It keeps like fucking stuttering along. And then they grab it by its legs and they flip it up and they fucking hang it up by its feet. And
Yeah.
then they have an electric knife. So they while they're slitting its throat, they're electrocuting it again to keep it numb so the body doesn't tense up and make the meat really
Right.
what's the word? Like
Tender, like stiff or gross.
yeah, geez, what's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know.
Tough.
Okay.
Yeah, so it doesn't make the meat tough. And then the turkey bleeds out. And then they come back to me, and I was helping to pluck them once I was done corralling.
I thought they just boiled them until the feathers all fell out.
No, you pluck them.
Really?
So by the time
I thought it was just boiled.
no,
No shit.
no, because I would start cooking them.
Yeah, I thought they were like
No.
just enough to like fucking.
No, you got to pull them. You can't.
How did you put one at a time?
No, you're grabbing handfuls and ripping them out.
So they come out as easy as like pulling hair.
Yeah, yeah.
So you gotta tug on them
Yeah, and you like. There's a certain way you like rip them, like
with the grain.
against the grain.
Against.
Yeah,
I don't like the sound of that. Don't you? You're
Yeah.
supposed to shave with.
yeah, but it's opposite with them when you're plucking them. And yeah, that's my story about when I was a turkey serial killer.
Well, that's completely fucked.
How did we get there? Oh, about hunting and whether I'd have the stomach to do it. Now, in saying this, I want to go turkey hunting so fucking bad. So fucking bad. If I could pick any style of hunting to do, and our buddy who's going to go hunting with us, he really wants to go turkey hunting really bad too. We're both super fucking into it.
Yep.
That's what I'd like to do. And there's rumors that on the American border with New Brunswick,
Yeah.
that a lot of turkeys have started coming into the province,
Yes.
and it's starting to become a problem. So there's starting to be talk that they might open up a turkey hunt in New Brunswick.
Nice.
Which-
That's a couple hour drive.
I would be
4 hours or
well
something.
to get there. Yeah, it would be 5 hours, 4 hours. I would do it.
Oh fuck yeah.
Go up for a few days. Just
Oh
go
yeah.
out and
It'd
turkey
be
hunt every
more.
day.
I wouldn't want it to just be a weekend thing. I'd want it to be like a solid 3 or 4 days.
Rent a nice cabin.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, dude, that'd be so fun. Just up super early in the morning,
Yep.
out in the fucking blind.
Fucking frying one egg at a time on a cast iron skillet.
Oh, yeah. That's the fucking dream.
We have found Travis's fucking calling.
Yeah.
Finally, a reason to wake up in the morning, huh?
Dude, I've been struggling with up early lately, but we know that from my melatonin issues.
Did you switch to gummies yet?
Melatonin queen.
Yeah. That's funny.
No, I'm off melatonin altogether, dude. I can't take that.
No?
shit. No.
Oh man, the gummies are
I
what?
was going a little insane
Really?
from the dreams. They were fucking me up, bro.
I love it so much. Especially considering like I'll also take a shot of whiskey or rum or something right before bed too. Like I'll wash the fucking gummy down with rum.
You're fucking
Just so
nuts.
because that way you're not drunk by any means, but you're having like just that little bit of alcohol kick in while you're already asleep.
Yeah.
Because by the time it gets to you, you're already sleeping. And then the fucking melatonin put me into such like a REM sleep. I'm like fucking having wild dreams. It's fucking
Dude.
awesome.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Have you ever? This was the last thing I wanted to do today, this
Sure.
week. Have you ever read Florida Man headlines?
Oh my god, yes.
Have you ever seen the thing where you fucking look up Florida Man and then your birth date?
Let's do it.
So I'll read them out here. Florida Man. Ooh, man. And then my birthday is September 20th. So I'm just writing Sept 20.
Do you know September 21st is National Peace Day?
It's also the first day of summer, isn't it?
No, September 22nd.
February, I mean. Or fall.
Yes.
Yeah, last day. Yeah. So this is my first.
Oh, I guess 21st is last.
These are the news headlines for Florida Man, September 20, which is Drunk Ryan's birthday. Neighbors complain about Florida man doing yard work naked.
That's you. I'm trying to start a nudist colony.
Florida man gets probation for picking up, transporting 41 turtles. Florida man arrested after girl hit with flagpole during street corner pro-Trump rally. I fucking love it. Naked Florida man starts house fire while baking cookies on George Foreman grill.
Dude, how would you make cookies on a George Foreman?
Exactly, you can't. Florida man earns title goat guy.
Oh, fuck.
What's your birthday?
What do you do to be
June
goat guy?
25th, right?
Yeah, that's right.
I know these things. Florida man arrested for running naked through Walmart parking lot.
That was actually me.
Yeah. Florida man rides on hood of car going 70 miles per hour.
Dude, okay. So I have played this game once before,
Did you use your birth date?
and that's the one that I remember.
Oh, really?
The Florida man rides on hood of car. Yeah, I did it with our old receptionist. That's fucking hilarious.
Florida man calls probation officer, threatens to blow up probation office after missing appointment, police say.
Dude, imagine calling your probation officer and be like, yo, dude, listen, I know I already violated probation, but if you tell anybody, I'm going to fucking blow the building up.
Florida man arrested for having Trump-shaped ecstasy pills.
Dude.
That's so funny.
That's a real return to like cool ecstasy pills because ecstasy pills got lame. They just look like normal pills for a while.
I'm just going to pick a random one.
No, dude.
Random date.
The best date to do is 4/20, April 20.
Oh, I just typed in November 28th.
Okay.
Florida man accused of stabbing woman over underdone potato. Florida man masturbating in parking lot slugs elderly man.
Wait, with which hand?
I'm thinking the other one.
So if you jerk it, you usually do it with your predominant hand,
Yeah.
which is also the hand you'd likely punch somebody in the face with, right?
Yeah.
How'd that work out?
Oh, man.
Did he actually just Spider-Man that guy?
Oh, picture the guy that got hit and trying to make the report. Well, like, because one of the officers or detectives had to say, "And which hand did he use?" Like that question had to come up in a real court case. Like,
Excuse me, sir. Did you get punched in the face with a fistful of cum?
was the hand a little sweaty? A little bit of lockjaw on his wrist. Listen to this one. Florida man was upset that his buddy was chugging all his vodka. The situation escalated. There's another guy. Oh, it mentioned the same one twice. I can't believe it. Florida man spends birthday in jail after intentionally cutting the tails off 5 kittens.
Oh,
Holy shit.
Fuck that guy.
Wow. Florida man arrested for spitting food into mouth of woman.
That was actually a fetish.
Oh, this one. Oh, my fuck. Florida man throws 8 Molotov cocktails at Department of Children and Families building after kids are taken away. April 20?
Yeah.
That's a good idea. April 20. Florida man found asleep in Taylor Swift's bed.
What?
Oh, fuck.
Dude is actually just high as a kite and thinks he's in his own house.
Dude, this one's fucking sick. It goes with what we were just talking. Florida man accused of shooting duck with bow and arrow.
Why is that bad?
It's
Oh no, you're
a
not.
bow.
allowed to
You
do
can't
that.
fucking bow and arrow hunt with for a
Dog.
duck.
I mean, they say you can't.
Yeah, that one link won't. open.
Imagine though if it was just like a duck in like a fucking public park, and this dude is just like fucking bow hunting these ducks.
Okay. Half-bearded Florida man spends $420 in jail for selling marijuana the night before. He was in fucking middle of shaving his beard. The guy was shaving his fucking beard. I'm gonna screenshot that one. We gotta post that. The guy was in the middle of shaving his beard when he gets arrested. So, oh my fucking God. Unbelievable. Poor guy. Colony police arrest Florida man for having sex with 16-year-old girl. Oof, woof. I don't want to read the rest of that. Anyway, the funnest game. Oh. Thong-wearing Florida man arrested while building shed with garbage. Was he only wearing the thong? Or was it like popping out a little bit like Lita in the early 2000s? Like,
Wait, what would be illegal? Why can't I don't understand why any of those things are illegal.
I'm willing to bet that the situation escalated, buddy.
Because he was butt chugging vodka.
Yeah. Anyway, One of the funnest games that you can play is just type into Google Florida Man followed by any date, your birth date. Send us some of the cool results on Instagram. Just tag us in them if you find them. At
Especially
Dudes
if you're
Talking
from
Shit.
Australia.
Yes. Or send us an email with the fucking links to them, and we'll talk about them next week or
Hell
something.
yeah. Send us your favorites.
It'd be funny. Anyway, you can find us on Instagram at Dudes Talking Shit. You can find Ryan on Instagram at Drunk Ryan. You can find Travis on Instagram at
TFan23.
Send them your dick pics and Florida Man pics.
Later, shitheads.